It's an extraordinarily important gathering because in just 7 short months, Canadians will be going to the polls, as you know, and they're going to be setting the direction of this country, not just for the next 4 years, but for many years to come. As I travel to every corner of our country, one theme emerges loud and clear. After 9 years of Stephen Harper's Conservatives, Canadians are ready for change. And you know, it's not difficult to see why. Middle-class families and those fighting to get into the middle class are working harder but falling further behind. Le niveau record.
The record level, debt level of households represents, according to the Bank of Canada, an important risk for the financial stability of our country. The unemployment rate among young people is at its highest level. But young families who work cannot find affordable daycare. And that too is a hindrance for these families, but for the entire economy of Canada. Post-secondary education and training become luxury matters. Students are accumulating incredible debt. And for the first time in the history of our country, the present generation will receive less than that of their parents, while inheriting an economic, social, and environmental debt which is colossal. Remember that 7 out of 10 Canadians don't even have a retirement plan. That is a reality that millions of middle-class families face, without counting on the millions of other people who would like to be part of the middle class.
Increased by over 250,000 since the 2008 recession. The jobs that are being created are part-time and precarious. According to the CIBC, the quality of jobs today is at the lowest level in 2 decades. And the gap between the middle class and the wealthiest few is unprecedented, and it's only getting wider. But you and I know it doesn't have to be this way. Over the past months, we have announced a handful of our concrete, practical proposals that will help strengthen the middle class and set Canada on a path to greater economic prosperity. We'll lower old age security eligibility from 67 back down to 65, where it was when he took power. We'll make Ottawa a stable, long-term partner in transit and social housing. And we will introduce a $15 an hour federal minimum wage. We will introduce $15 a day quality childcare across Canada. Oh, and we will scrap Stephen Harper's unnecessary and unfair income-splitting scheme. You see, instead of taking billions of dollars from hardworking Canadian families and giving it to the wealthiest 15%, as Mr. Harper proposes to do, we'll invest that money into expanding and strengthening the middle class. I believe that one of the things that makes Canada great is the understanding that with hard work, every Canadian can live to their full potential. That with everyone contributing their fair share, we can make strategic investments to ensure everyone can succeed and no one is left behind. But along the way, that Canadian promise has begun to unravel. And a fundamentally un-Canadian thing is now happening. The tremendous wealth that is being generated in this country today is landing into fewer and fewer hands. And those at the very top are enjoying tax benefits that the majority simply don't have access to. This has meant that the middle class has had to carry more of the burden and that more and more Canadians have fallen through the cracks. This has created a growing disparity in Canada, and this is one of the reasons why more and more families who are working as hard as ever just can't get ahead. I believe that it's time to reconnect Canadians with a renewed promise where hard work is rewarded and opportunity is extended to everyone. And I believe that there is no more important place to start than with the opportunities we create for our children. Just over 25 years ago, Ed Broadbent led a motion through the House of Commons that committed Canada to eliminate child poverty by the year 2000. That motion was adopted unanimously, and it stands as a pillar of Ed Broadbent's legacy in public life. Ed Broadbent a fait preuve de leadership.
Ed Broadbent showed leadership to make a child priority in Parliament, and thanks to his effort, Parliament spoke for once unanimously in the name of all Canadians. This was a time of great pride, not just for the NDP, but for the entire country. Unfortunately, 25 years later, the objective established for the year 2000 has not been reached. Even worse, there are now more children living in poverty today than in 1989.
It's hard to learn. And yet, 1 million Canadian children, that's 1 in 6, face hunger every year. Despite Liberals and Conservatives voting for Ed's motion, when they formed subsequent governments, they failed to take the necessary action to get the job done. Now, it wasn't a lack of resources. And you know what? It wasn't a lack of wherewithal. We didn't need more tools. It was a lack of political will. Today, I'm pleased to announce that a new Democratic government will commit to reducing income inequality and renew Canada's commitment to the elimination of child poverty. To assist in achieving these goals, we will close the tax loophole currently enjoyed by CEOs on stock options and redirect that money to low-income families through an enhanced working income tax benefit and an enhanced child benefit supplement. This will be a dollar-for-dollar transfer in benefits from those who need it the least to those who need it the most. L'engagement du NPD.
The promise of the NDP to eliminate child poverty doesn't stem from yesterday, and I would like to renew and reinforce this promise here today in a concrete way. A government of the New Democratic Party will eliminate the loophole that allows CEOs and other leaders to profit from options without paying their fair share. The NDP will take this extra revenue and redirect it towards poor families by improving both the tax benefit for working revenue and the tax benefit for children. Each new dollar coming from the richest will go directly to those who have the greatest need.
Will be a substantial measure to reduce income inequality in our country and is a major step forward to take millions of Canadians, particularly children, out of poverty and into the middle class. And moving families out of poverty and into the middle class is good for our social fabric, it's good for our economy, and it's good for Canada. And it's an expression of values that I hold dear. My family story is that of millions of Canadian families. Growing up the second oldest of 10 kids, we had to work hard for everything we had. It wasn't easy, and we did just that. We worked hard, played by the rules, and we lived within our means. We learned the importance of looking out for one another, of generosity and fair play. These are the values that guide me as a husband, as a father, and as a grandfather. These are the values that have guided me in my 35 years of public service. These are the values that guided me as a cabinet minister. These are the values that will guide me as your Prime Minister. Ce que nous offrons aux Canadiens,
What we offer Canadians is a clear vision to build a Canadian society that's fair and just. Concrete solutions to make life easier for the middle class. You can trust the NDP to favor economic growth while protecting the environment. I make that my priority. Our history is filled with examples that show what we are able to accomplish when we work together. By joining all our forces so we can face the challenges before us. Identifying problems, that's the easy part. But real leadership is a question of choice.
is clear. A government that expands and strengthens the middle class, a government that grows the economy and creates stable full-time jobs while protecting the environment, where our youth get the opportunities they need and our seniors get the benefits they deserve. We will build a Canada where democratic traditions are respected at home and our reputation as a country is respected abroad. Where fear and division are replaced with hope and optimism. Where every child gets the chance to succeed in a Canada where everyone belongs and no one is left behind. My friends, we've never been as close as we are today to building the Canada of our dreams. But I need your help. I'm calling on each and every progressive Canadian to join me in this great endeavor. Let's commit right here, right now, to roll up our sleeves and make October the time when we set Canada on the right path. So, tell your neighbors, affordable, quality childcare is just an election away. Tell your networks that lifting children and families out of poverty and into the middle class is within reach. And tell your friends that together we can defeat Stephen Harper and build the Canada of our dreams. C'est maintenant.
The time has come.
If you agree with what we're saying, the time is now. This is our time. I'm ready. Our team is ready. Now let's get out there and let's get it done. Merci beaucoup. On continue.
Thank you very much. The struggle continues.